everyone, my name is Lindy. Welcome back to my channel, Faith Family Books. I have my March wrap up. I only read 5 books this month. You would think being home for 3.5 weeks, I would have more time to read, or I would have read a lot more, but I did not. I watched a lot of TV. I crafted. I worked on my paparazzi business. I just did not read a lot. So I'm just going to share with you all what I did read. I'm so sorry. I look a mess. It is 10 o'clock at night. And I was just sitting here watching YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna video record my wrap up. And I didn't want to get all dolled up for like a 15-minute video. So this is me, this is the real Lindy. This is what you get. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to it. Please click that. You'll be notified every time I post a video, which is once every 2 weeks, once a week, once every 2 weeks. Now I have more time on my hands. I'm hoping to do a lot more. Like I said, I read a total of 5. I will put a little thumbnail like up here so you can see about the books I'm talking about. A lot of these books are for 18 and older. If you're underage, please stop this video, click out of it. And I'm so sorry this video is not for you. I read a lot of adult romance, and so most of my books are not kid friendly. So those are my likes. So the first book I read is called Hard Ride. It's a rough romance by Piper Stone. I have my notes here, so if you see me looking down, I'm just rereading my notes. I keep notes on every book because sometimes I forget. Even I may really love it, I still forget. So this book is about 2 rodeo stars. Well, mainly one. The main character, man, he is a bull rider, and the other character, she is a veterinarian. Well, she also does bull riding on the side, but she wants to be just like the main character. She wants to be just as good as this main character. So she decides that she's going to go out and go, show off. Well, she ends up kind of getting hurt. And he was like, you know what, you can't do that. You can't do this. You need an attitude adjustment. I am just the right man for you to show you this is how you act. Well, this is where the rough romance comes on in. This is a sexual spanking romance. And I hate to say this. Now, I don't believe it in like real life, but I love reading stories like this. It just keeps me entertained, and I find myself just swiping or turning the pages really fast. I like these romances, and I ended up giving them a lot of stars. So, like I said, if you're not into it, sorry, this is kind of what my likes are. So, he just gives her a lot of discipline, and her attitude changes, and with her being good and showing him, that the attitude is changing, that he rewards her with teaching her how to be a good bull rider. And so, they fight on and off, and there's some discipline, and they fight on and off. It's just better, and it gets better, and then they fall in love. And it's just a really good, just love story. I ended up giving that 4 stars. And so that is Hard Ride. And I will put a little thumbnail, which should have already been up there. So there's that. Sorry, my dog's like looking at me like, are you going to pick me up? All right, the second one is Sins. It's a dark romance, and it is by Candace Wandrock. I gave this 3 stars. Now, this book was very, very graphic and violent. Now, usually I can handle violence like in dark romances, but this was like a psychological, I can't say the word. I can't even say it. I will put it down here. It's a thriller. And I had to like stop. I was reading it on my Kindle, and I had to stop a few times because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much. She ends up killing her parents, and before all that happened, she's been kidnapped by these 2 men, and she's been kidnapped for years, and she didn't know like who these men were. Well, these men ended up being her stepbrothers, and they would like do vicious things to her family and to her, and they would come in and like kill her friends and just say, oh, like this is your fault kind of thing. It was just too, for a dark romance, it was too twisted. It was too much for me. That's why I gave it 3 stars. And then I don't know, I almost didn't finish it, But I went ahead because I don't like not finishing books unless it's just awful. So that was my 3-star book. Sorry, I'm trying to turn the page doing this one-handed. The next one was Surrender. It's a mafia billionaire romance. I gave it 4 stars. It is by Shanna Handel. This was another discipline romance, which, like I said, I like these kind of stories. Okay, this main character goes to visit her friend who is getting married, and she knew a little bit about the background of the fiance or now husband, but she really didn't take it into detail until she got there. And they told her, since you're here, with our family business and our family history, you're going to have to be under protection from this said guy. And she's like, I don't need that. I don't need to be around him. So, there's a lot of like ifs and buts and a lot of fighting, and she runs from him and she tries to do her own thing. Well, there's some discipline. He's like, you're not going to do that. I have had orders and you're going to blah, 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 blah. And so I thought it was a really cute read, and there was some discipline in it. There's some sexual scenes, and like I said, I gave it 4 stars. It was a cute read. It was fast-paced, and I enjoyed it. The next one is called Ward. It is a dark romance, and it is by Zoe Black, and I give it 4 stars. This book is about a woman who plays in theater, and one night she meets a guy that's, I guess, he's not the director, but he's the one that pays for this theater to be put on. Well, he comes in one night and drugs her at like this theater party, like after show, like after they do the play, they go to this party. Well, he ends up drugging her and moves her to like this psychiatric ward, and she wakes up and she's like, oh my gosh, where am I? Why am I here? And the doctors in there, they treated her bad. They were torturing her. And then she ends up trying to leave. Well, this man comes. She's like, I remember that man, but I don't know where I know him from, but I know him. And he's like, you are under my ward, and we've had this life all this time. And he kept telling her that, your parents have died and you've been kind of crazy since then. Well, she's like, this is not my life. I've only played this way in like this theater. And he's like, no, you're crazy. This is how we are. He made her believe that she was in like the that she actually lives in this Victorian 1895 lifestyle. And she's like, no. And she kept fighting it. And like I said, this is another discipline book, and he actually beats her. And I mean, it's a little too violent for me, but it was better than that other book I read earlier. And I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And it was just going back and forth. And it made me think a couple times, like. So the last book I have is called Keenan. It is a dark Irish mafia romance, and I gave it 4 stars. This book I finished yesterday. It's about this girl she's a lady. She grew up in this lighthouse with her dad, and the dad ends up dying from some illness. And so these 2 mafia men come to check out this lighthouse. Well, they end up finding this girl, and she had like all these books with her with all these notes and stuff. They're like, oh, you're spying on us? We're going to kidnap you. So that's what they did. They kidnapped her. They took her there, and they tried to question her, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never set foot outside until like today. And they didn't believe her at first. And so, like with all the other books, this is another discipline romance. I actually really enjoyed it. It was good. There's a lot of back and forth, and then discipline, then more back and forth, and then they end up falling in love in the end. And it's just a nice romance. And so the ones that I did read, I actually enjoyed. So that includes my wrap up. Hope everyone has a great evening, and hope everyone is being safe. And I just pray that, you just continue to take care, and you continue to take care of yourself. So hope everyone has a great evening, and I have more videos for you soon. God bless you all, my friends.